Hey friends, welcome to the first ever episode of Think and Create with your host, Ganzang Chantavong. First and foremost, I need to say thank you so much for all the lovely messages and support you all have given me. I truly appreciate it and I'm so happy you're here with us today. Happy holidays and a happy new year. I hope everyone's 2022 is going great so far. And with that all being said, let's get right into the episode. In this episode, we'll be focusing on getting on the same page about this podcast. I'll be sharing some things about me so that you can get a grasp of who I am, my story, why I'm making this podcast, my dreams and visions for this podcast, and some core ideas and concepts we'll be talking about throughout the episodes. Stay tuned until the end for the two actionable takeaways that I have for you. I really love them, I did it myself, and it suits the energy of the new year so much, and I hope you take the time to do it too. Alright, so a little story about who I am. My name is Gunzing Chanthabong. I'm 16 years old and I'm a junior in high school. I'm Laotian. I don't know what other parts of my ethnicity I am, but I did order 23andMe test, so we'll see the results soon. I was born and raised in North Minneapolis by my amazing parents and family, and I come from a place of love. I just love to spread my positivity and good energy everywhere I go. I'm dedicated to learning more about myself and the world around me because there's so much in life to explore, and I want to see and experience it all while I still can. I've done so much content creation ever since I was in middle school. I would make fun videos and I used to stream some games on Twitch to a little community that I had. And now I really started to pursue my content creation to share more of myself, my stories, lessons, and special knowledge I've picked up already in life. The reason why I want to share my life is because it's fun to do and I feel like you can learn anything from anyone in the world if you're open and willing enough to. I have big dreams for my future self. The life I want to live after I graduate high school is going to be quite the thing I'm working towards. I want to take a gap year and travel around the world. I want to explore and see what's out there for me. I want to become 100% free to do whatever I want in my life, whenever I want, without having to worry about anything at all. This is a lifestyle I want to live and I'm choosing to live right now. And I feel and I personally feel like every day I am aligned and progressing towards that freedom and my life goals. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast. I really love my life and I want to spread some things I've learned to help and inspire others to start thinking and creating their own dream lives, especially young adults and high schoolers. We all have some kind of vision and things we want from our lives, and we have all that power to create it and live it. And I want this podcast to be fun. I don't want it to be perfect or obsessive to be a certain kind of way. I've done so much career exploration and creative work to have learned this, and I'll carry it with me as long as the podcast runs for, and other creative endeavors I indulge in my life. Fun over perfect is the number one thing for me. So, there's some things about me. I hope you get a better grasp of who I am and my story. I do really love my whole life, truly. I feel like I've stepped into my true being, my true self, and I'm living my life the way I really want to. Enough about me. Let's talk about the main themes, ideas, and concepts that I want to talk about in these episodes. There's a lot I want to do with this podcast. The direction I can take this is unlimited, and so I want to leave it open to that. Instead of defining and confining what this podcast will be about, I have some ideas and things I want to share. And the main big idea of this podcast is the self connection that we have with ourselves. So let's pause real quick. What is self connection? Well, to me, I made it up by the way. To me, it's a lot of different things about ourselves in one. And primarily, it's what you think and how you feel about yourself. We all live life and do things, and at the end of the day, it comes back to us. Who we are and how we feel, we can choose to embark on these journeys in life, either professionally or whatever route, but it all comes back to our self connection. To go far is to return to self. A little Taoist saying here, and it's true. You can go on these big journeys in life of success, happiness, whatever fills your boat, whatever you want to work towards. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about how we truly feel about ourselves. By being aware of our self-connection, we can start seeing our lives more clearly. We can get an understanding of our perspectives that we have of ourselves. To understand is the ability to change your perspective. If you're able to view your life from the inside, outside, and multiple perspectives, then you'll be able to develop a mutual understanding with yourself. So, how do we self-connect? Well, you just are. You live your life, and there's breaks in your days where you do reflect back on yourself and your life. Those moments of being aware of ourselves is the self-connection. There's many different ways to connect with yourselves, and it differs from person to person. My favorite self-connecting activities come from being by myself. I would say most of your self-connection comes from being alone, but there's also times when you're with people and you have a heightened sense of your awareness of yourself. The things I love to do alone to connect with myself is writing with my journal, meditating, yoga, breathing, being in the present, just living life the way it is, and a ton of more healthy habits and practices I do. But I think self connecting is doing what you feel called to do, doing what you want to do, and letting yourself do that, and learning from those life experiences. So, what can we do with this self connection? That's a great question. Thanks for asking. We can do so many things with the special knowledge that we have of ourselves that no one else has. We can start thinking and changing how we would live our lives the way we actually want to. Young people like me have so much freedom and opportunities to create the life you want to live, and you must make it a priority. You must put yourself on top of your priority list or you'll always be on the bottom. You must define how you want to live your life before someone or something else does for you. We are the creators of our own lives. All of the things we do make up who we are, aware of it or not. There's two types of people in the world. One group is living life the way they think they should be living it. They live life disconnected and drifted away from their true selves and chase after these things that society imposes on them, while the other group knows and understands themselves and what they truly want from life, and they work day to day in alignment to that life. My goal is to get you aware of this. I was once living like the first group for a couple of years in my adolescent life, and I was chasing things I thought I wanted, but it was all these fakes I would learn to go after. At some point in the middle of 2022, COVID, all the crisis stuff, I started living my new dream, the life I really wanted to live. But the main point, and the main point I'm trying to get from this train of thought is that by being aware of how we live our lives, we can change it in the direction we want to go to. And that comes from self connection. We can create change by being aware. There's nothing to change if you aren't aware of what you want to change. And I believe now more than ever, we are disconnected from our true selves. Especially with modern advances in technology like social media, we can start looking and focusing on everyone else and everything else besides ourselves. But when we can return to living with ourselves, we can start planting and following the paths that we really want to go on, the lives we really want to live. We can truly think and create that. Every day we change and learn a lot of new things about the world and about ourselves. So why not make the change align with where we want to be? My main goal for my podcast is to have my listeners think and question everything about ourselves and our lives, and finding ways to take care of all aspects of our lives. So, to wrap up all the ideas, basically, this podcast I'm creating will help you think and create the desired reality you want to live on your own terms in your own ways. So, where do we start? Well, we start off with the vision, the goals. How do we want to feel like? How do we want to live day to day? Who and what do we want to surround ourselves with? What do we want to learn and do? It's so important to clearly define what we want for ourselves so that we can see the way of living it. We really need to ask ourselves and ourselves only, what do we truly want? Which leads us to the think and create portion of this episode. But before we get into that, let's pause and take a deep breath and check in with ourselves. I know this is kind of a lot, so soak it all in and just breathe with the waves. How are you? I know that was a lot, and I hope you got a better sense of who I am and what this podcast is all about. For the think portion of today's episode, I want you to think about your life right now and where you want to be by the end of this year or 2 years, however and wherever you see yourselves in the future. I want you to start thinking about what you truly want from your life. Only you. Don't think about what society may want you to think and chase after life, but listen within yourself. Just take a moment to listen and say, what do I really want to do with my life? How do I really want to feel every day? Joyful, happy, content? What will I be doing? We don't live forever. Let's just get that straight. So, are you living the life you truly want to be living now and making the choices and actions every day to live your dream life? And just a reminder for everyone, you are living your dream life right now. And where you are right now in life is exactly where you're meant to be. This might be hard for some to accept, but we all grow from the places we come from. We are endlessly growing and improving. Not only that, but living. We are living our best lives right now. Maybe not the way we really want to. For some of us, we do. But thinking and defining where we want to be is the first step to living that life. So as you think about this, you can ponder on it, you can meditate on it, where you want to be in the future. You can talk to some friends about it, or you can just keep it to yourself. And as you think about your future reality, your desired reality, I want you to create something truly special to you. I want you to write a letter to your future self. Take a moment to write down your life that you live right now. What are your routines? What are you so focused on? What are you really working towards? How are you living? What are some things you love about your life? What are some things that you want to change? These are some prompts to get you aligned with where you want to be in the future. If you can write down where you want to be, if you can visualize and see it, you can start progressing towards it every day. To be clear, this isn't making a New Year's resolution, but rather what you want to have done for yourself. What do you want to move on from and let go? And what things do you want to start building and exploring? You can date it for the end of the year or whenever you feel called to open it. I really love doing analog writing. Writing on pen and paper is something truly special to me, but there's a website where you can type a letter to yourself and pick a date when you want it emailed to you. The link is www.futureme.org. I'll put it in the show notes below, but it's something that you can use. So, that wraps up the episode. I had a ton of fun thinking about this episode and creating it. I know it kind of took a while, like 3 weeks since my trailer came out, but that's okay. I believe that taking time to refine the things I really want to say on this podcast is something special to me. It's something that I feel called to do because I want to create quality stuff for you all. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode and future episodes. So please follow this podcast on Spotify, turn on the notifications. I really want to aim for one episode a week, and I do want to hold myself accountable to that. Thank you so much. If you learned anything from this, if you got anything from this, please message me or share this podcast with your friends. Soak in the happiness and gratitude you felt during this episode and just breathe and live your best life. Thanks so much for listening again, and I'll see you in the next episode.